ladies and gentlemen. From America's Got Talent, Mr. Landau Eugene Murphy, Jr.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here to wake you up. Get all your stretching in. Hands together. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. I know things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We got to change it, yeah, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. 'Cause they're the ones who's suffering and catch all the hell. And they don't have so very long before the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all your teachers, time to teach a new way. They're the ones who live in all in the way. They're the ones who's coming up. The world is in their hands. So won't you teach the children and teach the best you can. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta wake up. Y'all gotta wake up. Yeah. Hey. One kid at a time. All you wonderful teachers in this room, you change the world. You make the world a better place. The children are our future, right? The children are our future, right? That's right, and that's what you guys are good at. Teaching these kids how to be productive citizens in today's society and beyond. And without you, we're in a bad position. So I want to thank all you teachers around the world doing a great job. Thank you so much. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. No, world won't get no better. We got to change it, yeah, just you and me. Yeah. World won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We got to change it, yeah, just you and me. Wake up, get up. We got to change it, yeah, just you and me. Whoa. A change is gonna come, yeah, with just you and me. Wake up, get up, y'all. Just you and me. Whoa. Wake up, get up, y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause. We got to change again, you and me. That change is gonna come, yeah.
and welcome to the 25th Annual COABE Conference. It's a celebration of a quarter of a century of dedication, innovation, and impact into the field of adult education. And what a wonderful way to wake up this morning. I hope you enjoyed Mr. Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. from America's Got Talent. My name is Shaketta Thomas, and right now I'm your president for the COABE board. And it's just such an honor to be here and to serve you guys here in this beautiful city of Nashville. And as we gather here today and we reflect on the journey that has brought us to this occasion, a journey that has been marked by passion, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to empowering learners of all ages and backgrounds, I want you to take a chance to look at yourself, look at your neighbor, and say, you have been a part of this journey. You guys, the day-to-day work that you do. So I want you to look to your left, look to your right, and say thank you. Thank you for making a change in this world today. For 25 years, the Coalition of Adult Basic Education has served as a beacon of inspiration, uniting educators, administrators, policymakers, advocates in a shared mission to transform lives through education. Together, we have championed the cause of adult education for our adult learners, and recognizing their potential and providing them with the tools they need to succeed in an ever-changing world. Throughout our history, we have faced many challenges and obstacles, and we still do today. I know we fight for funding, we fight for space, we fight for professional development, but we have met them with determination and creativity. We have adapted to new technology, especially since 2020, and we have forged partnerships that have strengthened our collective impact. And through it all, we have remained steadfast in our belief that education is the absolute key to unlocking opportunity and building a brighter future for all. So as we look forward to the next 25 years and beyond, let us recommit ourselves to the values that have guided us thus far, which is equity, inclusivity, and excellence in education. Let us continue to push the boundaries of what is possible to change conventional wisdom and strive for ever greater heights of achievement. Together, we can achieve so much. But the work is far from over. There are still countless individuals who stand to benefit from the transformative power of education. And it is our responsibility to ensure that everyone has access to the resources and support they need to succeed. So let us seize this moment right here today. Celebrate our accomplishments. Honor the pioneers that have came before us, especially our past presidents. If we can get them to stand up right now. Kay, Don, Tom, I know you're in the room. All of our previous board members. Can you please stand up? Current and former board members, please stand. There's a lot of you in the room. The staff here at COABE, they are just so instrumental in making sure that we carry out our function and bring this family reunion here in the room today. And of course, I know you all know our CEO, the biggest heart of them all, Sharon Bonney. She's somewhere back there, backstage. But a big kudos, because she has been a part of this drive since day one, 1999, 25 years ago. Sharon started forging the path of COABE, and look where we are today. There's close to 3,000 people in the room, and it's all due to all of the pioneers of the past, their collective efforts, Sharon, the staff, and most importantly, you and our learners. So as we look forward, I want you to realize that together we can build a brighter future. with all of us coming to the table together as one. Our educators, our administrators, our policymakers, our business employers, and most importantly, who definitely should be at every table, is our learners, because it is their voice that matters the most as we charter our way forward. So welcome to Nashville and our 2024 COABE Conference. Let this celebration begin. Next to the stage, I would like to invite our friends from NASDAQ. Heidi Silva-Pacula, can you please go on out and join us today?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nashville. Nice to see you all. Lots of great people in the room. My name is Will Durden, and I am the Director of Basic Education for Adults in the state of Washington. And I do need to, thank you. I thought you'd all be asleep on the West Coast, so I appreciate the love. That's nice. I do need to establish my street cred for Nashville. When I was 12 years old, I became a member of the Reba McEntire fan club. She was my first diva crush, and so I just need to establish that I belong here. But actually, I am here today on behalf of the National Association of State Directors of Adult Education. It's a little bit of a mouthful. Our job is to provide support and resources to your state administrators, your state offices for adult education. So on my behalf, please hug a state administrator. We know those state offices can drive you a little nuts sometimes, but they're working hard for you, and we're here to support them behind the scenes. And I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Heidi.
Good morning. Great start this morning. My name is Heidi Silva-Pacula. I am the state administrator in the state of Virginia.
They're all awake.
And just to echo what Will said, I'm the chair this year of NASDAQ, and we want to say how much we appreciate our partnership with COABE. COABE does some of the work that we cannot do. We just can't stretch far enough as state administrators to give you all the professional development and networking with your peers that you need, deserve, and enjoy. I've been here for a couple days already and seeing the value of in-person learning, engaging online learning. So happy to see so many people engaging with peers from their own states and from across the nation. This is what it takes to fill our well so that we can go on and fill the wells of our students and meet their needs. So thank you for being here. Thank you, COABE, for putting on such a great conference, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you've heard his wonderful singing voice, but he has a story to share with you as well. So I would like to welcome back to the stage Mr. Landau Eugene Murphy, Jr.
I would stand at this podium, but I would feel like Barack Obama. So I'm going to stay away from that. I just want to give you a little bit of history about myself. I was born in a small town called Logan, West by God, Virginia. And don't you forget the by God. But, you know, I was born in 1974. My parents, you know, my father was a coal miner, and my parents, you know, lived together in a home with me. But then, you know, unfortunately for me, that didn't last very long. My parents split up. My mom moved me from West Virginia to Detroit, Michigan. Y'all said that like that's a good thing. No, it's not. Not being from West Virginia, it ain't. But Detroit taught me a lot of things, taught me the good and bad. I mean, the toughest thing that I had seen before I moved to Detroit was the Dukes of Hazzard. Roscoe Biko train, you guys remember him? Kid. And it was, you know, it was very shocking to go from one environment to another like that overnight. I woke up in a concrete
jungle. I'm used to creeks, and frogs, picking up salamanders. I wasn't used to helicopters flying over my community. I wasn't used to a police station being in the basement of my school. So I had to try to adapt to this whole new environment. And it was hard. But through the grace of God, I was able to stay away from the gangs, the violence, and being a street pharmaceutical rep. But I noticed, like, even my childhood friends, at this time I'm 10, 11 years old, and I'm still playing in the sandbox with my G.I. Joes. But my friend sitting next to me, he has $3,000 in his pocket, and I don't know why. But every now and then, little Orlando would get up and run to a car, and I knew something was fishy. But you know, that landed him in prison. Most of my friends went to Jackson Prison by the time I was 17 when I lived there. And the other half were in the Wayne County morgue. So I knew I had to change that whole perspective of hood living somehow, for myself anyway. If I didn't do it for anybody else, I had to do it for myself. So I tried to buckle down. I stayed in church. I played basketball. I tried to do well in school. But my brain, for some reason, was still stuck in West Virginia, having fun in the hills. So I was one of those kids that daydreamed in class. How many teachers in here have a student like that? I'm that student. And I always wanted my teacher to understand what I was daydreaming about, but they never really got it. You know, but I was always thinking ahead for some reason, and I thought it was great, but it didn't help my grades at all. You know, so like even when I was in geography class putting a world map together, just to get extra credit, I would put the whole map together as fast as I could. And then my teacher, Dr. Kingston, would go, "Oh, look at Mr. Murphy, such a smarty pants." And I would say, "No, Dr. Kingston, if I wanted to be a smarty pants, I would put the map together like this." And I made Pangea. No one had to tell me that that was, you know, a thing. I could look at a map and see that South America and Africa go together. At some point, they were together. You can see that on any map. You can see that all these land masses were together. And then when you start learning about tectonic plates and all those things, you start to put it all together yourself. So my teacher wasn't even at that point yet to teaching me that, but I was already there because I used to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. And I loved it. And he said, "Oh, Mr. Murphy, go to the principal's office." And I think that was the point where I started giving up on school. And the moral of that little bit of story is, hone in on the skills that your students have, whether they're adults or little kids. Find out what they're really, really good at, and then teach them how to achieve things through that. A lot of people, just like a kid that plays basketball, his dad wanted to be a great basketball player, so he has his son playing basketball or football, basically living their dreams through their kid. And that kid just wants to go play in a sandbox. He don't want to run up and down the field or get tackled by a 300-pound kid. He don't want to do that. But he's doing it to impress his dad. But it's the same thing with teachers and educators. You can't live through your students. You can help them achieve great things, but it's all up to them in their mind to want it and to go out and achieve it. So to fast forward all of this, by the time I was in the 10th grade, I was ready to give up on high school, and I dropped out, and I regretted it every single day. And the most part that I regretted about it is letting the obstacles that were in my way beat me. You know, the gangs, the violence, the metal detectors, the police thing in the school, bullies in the school system, things like that. Politics in school. There's a lot of politics in school. I grew up as a welfare kid. But I knew Michael over here, his parents worked at General Motors or Ford. So the teachers treated him a little bit different than they treated me. I could raise my hand and they'd be like, oh, whatever. Well, Michael raised his hand. Oh, hi, Michael. You want an apple? Michael got all of that great treatment, even on the basketball court. He wasn't better than me. Look at my long legs. There's no way he's better than me. I wanted to be like Mike every day till my hair started growing. But anyway, it was like I tried to adapt to all these things. And I got to a place where I quit high school and I started taking night school classes. And that's when I really found out how smart I was. 'Cause I took Algebra 1, 2, and 3 for 11th grade. And I got A's because this one particular teacher taught me how to do algebra in the most brilliant way. You know, I'm thinking math is math. But when it comes to algebra, it's not. You got alphabets in this math. So you got to learn how to, you need to learn the definition of the words before you can even solve the problems, right? And she showed me all of that, putting the X's and Y's together with the 2's and all of that stuff. And once I got the hang of it, I really felt good. She made me achieve something that I never thought I could achieve. And to this day, I always look for that teacher, and I want to just hug her and just thank her from the bottom of my heart for teaching me that way. And so to keep going, I ended up dropping out of that because I needed a job too. I started working for Chrysler. I was detailing cars for Chrysler and for the auto shows of Detroit. And so I was driving Hummers, Vipers. You think I cared about school anymore? I didn't care anymore. But always in the back of my mind, it was there. But at the same time while I'm washing these cars, I'm singing songs. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Look at all those Frank Sinatra fans out there. But my boss happened to see that, and he was just like, wow, why are you working here? And I'm like, what, am I fired? For singing? He's like, no, you need to be in Vegas somewhere. Why are you working here, washing cars? I was like, I just love washing cars. What's wrong with that? Love detailing cars. I still wash my own car to this day. And I don't have to, but I do. So anyway, he takes me to this place way out in the suburbs of Michigan just to show me what I had. Because in my community, singing those songs was like Def Comedy Jam to my people. They just thought it was funny. It was like, oh my God, man, you got to come over here and listen to this guy. Hey, man, sing that song again. What is it? I'm like, Frank Sinatra? They're like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, they call me Old Brown Eyes. That's what I am. That's who I am. I'm Old Brown Eyes. But anyway, as that thing started to unfold, I didn't realize it was God's way of grooming me, getting me ready for a bigger stage. Lo and behold, I'll go on a TV show that changes my whole life. I'll go on America's Got Talent. Yes. And I won $1 million. Changed my life forever. I ain't shop at the Piggly Wiggly at Walmart no more. I got to shop at Joseph A. Banks, and I'm feeling real good about myself. 2 for 1, ladies and gentlemen, 2 for 1. I know math. But anyway, that changed my whole life. But still in the back of my mind, I have this thing. I have all these different accolades. I have my own street. I feel like Martin Luther King up here. I got a street called Landau Lane. I have my own holiday in the state of West Virginia called Landau Day. Every September, the 13th and 14th, Logan County becomes Landau County. And it's a shame nobody skipped school. And I can't even encourage the kids to skip school. Because now I'm like this ambassador of, education and inspiring kids to do well and stay in school, listen to your parents, all of that. Because now I have this platform. And it looks something like this. See that? It looks something like that. And I have to encourage people to do the right things all the time. So I'm on this whole huge platform and getting all these wonderful accolades, all these different awards. But the only one that's missing, that's bothering me so bad, it's not a Grammy. It's not a Tony Award. It's my diploma. I didn't have a high school diploma. And that made me feel really bad because now I'm going to these schools. Hey, kids, stay in school, listen to your parents, make sure you get all your grades. And they're looking at me like, man, you ain't even graduate. Oh, tell me. How you going to tell me to stay in school and you didn't? And I realized, I was like, that little kid is right. Little bad 6-year-old, you're right. And so I started thinking, I was like, I got to go back to school. But once you hit that platform, being on TV, become a celebrity, everything starts moving so fast. Everything is moving fast. You see all these different people. You do all these shows all around the world, from Dubai to Germany, Shanghai, China, California, New York, Tupelo, Mississippi. Oh, you in the house too? So I've been all around the world, but still that thing is missing. And I remember that my mom told me she never graduated high school. And I was like, well, I'm going to do that one day, and I'm going to hand my diploma to you. And I never got that opportunity. And so I know we all lost loved ones and business opportunities and things like that over the pandemic. But the pandemic was a blessing and a curse to me at that point, because it gave me a chance to sit back, smell the roses, even though I couldn't smell nothing. Couldn't taste. I still don't know what the roses smell like. Couldn't taste nothing or anything, but in the back of my mind, it's like, hey, you got all this time. You can go back to school. But all I wanted to do was go on YouTube and listen to Eric Mays. Point of order. From the Flint water crisis, that's all I wanted to listen to. But my girlfriend was like, no, you want to go back to school? You're going to do it. So she shut off my Netflix, which is my best friend. Shut off my ESPN, which is my other best friend. And YouTube. And she made me sit there and study on edgeannuity.com. Study and study and study. And then I went and took my tests. And I passed it all, except for the math. Don't clap yet, I didn't pass the math. Couldn't believe I didn't pass the math part, because that's the one I really wanted to pass. And so I go to the ladies like, oh man, I was ready to give up again. She was like, no, Landau, you passed every one. All you have to do is, I was like, do I have to take it all up? She was like, no, you just have to take the math part again. I was like, yes. So then I go home and I study, and then I call my sister, because my sister is like valedictorian or something. Like, I can't stand her. She just gets grades in her sleep, good grades. She's snoring and getting A+. So I asked her, I was like, sis, how do you study for a math test? She says, how you study for a math test? I was like, well, I study, you know, and then when I go in there, it's like my mind goes blank when I look at that screen. She was like, your mind don't work like that, idiot. Your brain works like this. You have to study 5 minutes before you go into the building. I was like, okay. So I go back to the place to take my test. I sit in the parking lot, study, go in, and I pass the math test. Yeah. And then I was like thinking like, this is huge. I have this huge platform to share with all these kids. I'm going in schools and things and talking to, you know, students. And so my fiance was like, we need to capitalize on this. We need to call like West Virginia Adult Education and all that. So we reach out to Mindy Marshall. Stand up, Miss Mindy Marshall. I love that woman. But Mindy Marshall put together this huge campaign about staying in school, and I came up with this slogan, it's never too late to graduate. And the reason I came up with that slogan is because there's this whole stereotype or this stigma among us all when we drop out of high school is that we don't want to look like an idiot among our peers. But who cares what anybody else thinks when it comes to your education? Who cares? I tell you what, laugh at me while I'm getting my diploma. I'll be like, you know, and that's the way I felt. That's the way Mindy Marshall and the whole West Virginia adult education system made me feel. And then they did this ultimate thing. They put me on all the billboards across the state of West Virginia. I mean, I'm literally riding down 119 like, and then I go to Kroger's and didn't know I was a celebrity in Kroger's. Till that old lady walks up on me like, I just bought some cereal and look what's on my receipt. It's you. Oh my goodness, you're such a good ambassador for our state. I'm like, thank you, ma'am. I didn't even know that was on there. Then I'm getting people from all around America anyway, like Iowa. I've never even been to Iowa. I've been to all states except for Iowa, Montana, Alaska, and Hawaii. I don't want to go to Montana. I don't want to go to Iowa. But my picture is on the back of a Kroger receipt in Iowa. And people are sending them to me, like screenshotting them in their passenger seat, like, look, I'm riding around with Landau. And I was like, this is so cool. But now this has opened up a lot of opportunities for me to go and talk to people like yourself, tell my story, and now I can stand in front of those kids and really tell them the real story and actually make them believe in me more than they did in the beginning because of this fame or whatever this thing that exists. I am a living testament that you're never too late to graduate. And don't listen to what your naysayers say because they're just jealous of what you're doing anyway. So just go ahead and live your life to the best of your abilities. Get your education. Reach out. Find the information. Do what it is you have to do. And for all you adult educators, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And Mindy Marshall, you're in my heart forever. I love you so much. Thank you all. God bless.
Whew. Isn't he just amazing? You know, I think of family as everywhere, so, you know, I've already adopted him, and he's like, no, I'm not. But he's a part of the COABE family forever, and just an amazing, amazing story. You know, we have the opportunity to gather here today because we have so much support, and I just want to bring to the stage Jen Denton with Essential Education, who has been such generous sponsors and great friends of COABE that help us through a lot of initiatives, bringing our conference together, You host sessions for us. Anything we pick up the phone and ask for, Essential Education is right there by our side, and we could not thank them enough. So give a round of applause for Essential Education and Jen Denton.
We are fortunate that we have a wonderful and long-standing relationship with COABE, and about 18 months ago, that relationship took an even different turn, which we have been very thankful for. In adult education, when adult educators collaborate, amazing things happen. And at Essential Education, we are committed to addressing the big problems in adult ed, not shying away from them, not just talking about them, but coming together to come up with practical solutions. And probably, I'll see a lot of heads go up and down when I say this, probably one of those most predominant obstacles we face is student retention. We knew that in addressing this problem, there was not one solution. There was not a magic pill. If I had it, I would have a wonderful little booth set up out there and sell you all wonderful copies of it. But we knew that this was not an venture that we needed or wanted to embark on alone, but we knew we wanted to do something. So we put our heads together with our friends and our partners at COABE, and we put together Essential Education's first professional learning community, bringing together those educators that are in the classrooms. They are on the front lines. They are watching students come in, and they are watching students go out. And we put together a select group of 50 educators that joined us for 12 months. Yes, 12 months of extensive research, real problems, asking good questions, trying, falling flat on our faces, getting up, trying again, and sharing everything from our struggles to our triumphs over that 12-month period. Throughout the course of that, COABE very generously offered to come alongside us and sponsor a badging and certification program for any of those individuals in that PLC that completed the entirety of those projects and of that program. And we are happy that 13 of those individuals received that badge as adult education retention specialists. She does not know I'm going to do this. But we have one of those retention specialists in attendance today is Christina Smith from Goodwill and Gulf Shores here. Y'all, fantastic. Christina also has a special skill set that involves the one-hit wonder by Mr. Vanilla Ice, so if anyone would like to indulge Christina in that, she's always up for it. She's always up for it. But I thought that it would be most appropriate to share this time of honoring those folks by the letter that is in the free retention guide that you can pick up at the Adult Essential Education booth. All of their contributions, all of their projects, all of their research, all of their reproducibles that are in the back of the appendix that you can use as soon as you get back to your classrooms and to your programs. And I say programs because it's not just for educators, it's for administrators, program directors, literacy centers, corrections. We had the gamut. And in the back of this book, I penned a letter to this group because I have said with no lack of authenticity that this has probably been one of the most heartfelt professional opportunities that I've ever had the pleasure to be a part of. So, dear 2023 Essential Education Professional Learning Community and our partners at COABE, words fail to convey the sincere appreciation we have for the countless contributions you've made to our year-long exploration of adult student retention. The dedication and support you have given to this initiative cannot be quantified. Your questions, in-depth research, classroom experiments, and deeply personal reflections and student stories have been invaluable. Without them, this venture would not have been possible. Throughout our time together, many of you faced and persevered through personal and professional struggles. Your resilience is exemplary, and your commitment to your students is extraordinary. It is beyond encouraging to see the level of excellence and care you bring to the field of adult education. And this is a little message for everyone here. Take heart in knowing that your efforts are making a difference as we continue to show up for those that show up. We trust this experience has been as meaningful to you as it has been for our team at Essential Education. We covet your continued support and collaboration as partners and friends. The work we do is not easy, but worthwhile endeavors rarely are. With heartfelt gratitude to our PLC and to our partners at COABE, we recognize a job well done, and thank you so very, very much.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. My name is Michael Matos. I'm the Vice President of Membership for COABE and also their Technology Chair. And we've got a very special event for you here coming up shortly. And, you know, it's a very exciting time at COABE and actually all over the country when it comes to digital literacy and digital equity and inclusion. And hopefully we'll be adding more to that today. COABE has been engaged in digital equity work for nearly a decade. We've had digital equity strands at COABE, at the COABE conference like we do this year, which has been led by EdTech Center at World Ed. COABE has produced a digital equity edition of COABE Journal, which is one of the most popular edition that's come out, and I'm glad to say I was a co-editor for it, so it was really nice. COABE jumped in during the pandemic and provided much needed digital skills during that time, training over 23,000 members in the space of 3 months. COABE engaged in the National Digital Equity Campaign in 2022, which consisted of bringing in digital change agents, and hopefully there's some of you out there, the digital change agents that we have throughout the country, to work together in a community of practice and work with their local municipalities and state leaders to ensure adult education is not forgotten when it comes to the BEAD and the digital equity funding. I'm the digital change agent for Illinois, so I'm very much involved in this project, and it's just very exciting. COABE also led the celebration of Digital Equity Week, which was the first time we've engaged in that, and that was just incredible with a podcast, a massive social media campaign, and short videos and targeted professional development as well. Recently, COABE, in partnership with the office in of Adult Ed Tech at the U.S. Department of Education and World Ed held 2 webinars and a pre-conference on the exact topic. Over 3,000 members registered to participate in these 2 events, and we are so grateful to all the panelists that World Ed, OET, and COABE lined up to participate in this professional development experience. COABE has also curated resources from our members on our digital equity campaign page and provided talking points and advocacy leadership in the field. Check out the page, coabe.org. Last year, COABE assembled a digital advisory committee that meets regularly to carry out national action plans, which include a survey snapshot of the needs of our field, the creation of data sheets, and the decimation of digital equity needs maps, which are really interesting. Once again, check those out when you get a chance on our resource page on coabe.org. Just some great information. We are also involved with the participating in the year-long Institute of Digital Equity, which was led by the American Association of Community Colleges and Universities. So this leads me to where we are now with the leaders in this space and on stage to tell us about the digital equity, why digital equity is so important, and what we can do to get more involved in our towns and in our states. Okay, so as COABE's technology chair, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the panelists. So we have Jacqueline Aguilera of the Mayor's Office of Adult Literacy in Houston, Texas. Let me see, make sure I get them in the right order here. Susan DeMonico of Ed Advanced Adult and Continuing Education. And Nell Eckersley of Literacy Assistance Center in New York. Ann Casey of T-Mobile. And one more name. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Shauna Edson with the National Digital Inclusion Alliance.
Great. Added speaker and great. All moderated by our CEO, Sharon Bonney. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Michael. It seems so timely on our 25th anniversary to talk about a very timely topic, which is digital equity. So we're going to ask that everybody stay put and the doors would be closed as we discuss digital equity and the importance for our learners. So first, I just want to turn to Jackie because we recently published a snapshot survey that we took of the field, and we realized there are quite a bit of inequities and inequalities we wanted to discuss. So I'll turn it over to Jackie to talk a bit about that.
Good morning, everyone. So you guys participated in a survey, I hope. Anyway, we've got your voices, and what we came up with was a snapshot. This snapshot gave us some very interesting insights, you guys. First of all, professional development is working. Yay! You guys are accessing and using the training, which is excellent. Thank you so much. Also, a number of you are also engaged in digital equity efforts and learning. You're working with your learners. Now, here comes some of the challenges that we learned about. 40% of you guys are still struggling with connectivity and having the appropriate resources. About 40% of you guys are still struggling to help your learners. And you're also looking at doing things and troubleshooting and trying to figure out all your needs on your own. One of the things that is great about COABE is building coalitions, networks, and breaking silos. And this is one of the things that we want to engage in here with our digital equity efforts. We especially want to point out that you are not alone. Partnerships are key. Partnerships are key to developing. In Houston, we live on partnerships. Through the Houston Public Library, we provided laptop kits. With our friends at Literacy Minnesota, using North Star Digital Literacy, we developed a Bridge Digital Academy program helping our providers establish their digital equity programs. Through ARPA funding, we have branched out to establishing digital equity sites in some of our major, most needed areas, and are developing a training bus that is going to go out and help teachers build their digital equity skills. Your needs are going to be met, and we are building models to meet them. One of the challenges, too, that we are discovering is the knowledge of something called ACP, the Affordable Connectivity Program, in which millions of people have gotten assistance to be connected and have devices. That will end if we do not let our legislators know that it is important to keep this funding going. We are going to go backwards, you guys. Our learners are going to be disconnected, and it's going to be even harder, and we don't want that to happen. So please engage with our activities, learn about the ACP, and learn about digital literacy navigators. This was another gap, another opportunity. We need to build our knowledge and our network so that we can be empowered, because when we're empowered, our learners are empowered.
That's right. Thank you so much, Jackie. You can see why I asked her to come to the stage to talk about this. She is passionate about digital equity. And so now I want to turn to Susan Domenico, who is one of our digital change agents, as well as Jackie and Nell as well. So Susan, I'd like to turn to you to talk a bit about what you're doing.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Susan DeMonico from Connecticut. I'm the Connecticut Digital Change Agent. I'm also a recovering social studies teacher, and so I need to frame my comments through the phrase agitate, 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 because I connect that with the civil rights movement. And we are in a stage right now where we need to understand that digital literacy is a civil right. You can ask our reentry population. You can ask our other covered populations under the Digital Equity Act, which include just about every demographic that is served by adult education. Without the ability to access devices and broadband internet, without the ability to learn the skills that are necessary, without the ability to get training and support, our learners are not going to be able to access economic and workforce development. They're not going to be able to access education, healthcare services, and telehealth, civic and social engagement, and most importantly, the delivery of other essential services. We know that our English language learners rely on digital skills and digital literacy to be able to continue to stay connected to their families. So as we're moving forward with this process, we need to understand that the definition of digital literacy that we all need to keep in mind is that capacity needed to participate in society, democracy, and the economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. And so in Connecticut, she is at the table actively working to make sure that adult education is funded, because as we know, our covered population often is left behind. And so I just want to thank Susan for the great work she is doing to make sure in Connecticut that her state has the funding they need for adult education. So thank you for your great work, Susan. Wonderful. And now I'm going to turn it over to Nell Eckersley. She's right there in New York City, and we know that they are really burgeoning with learners right now. So Nell, would you tell us a bit about what you're doing?
Sure thing. Do I start it? Does it start? Hello, technology. So yes, my name is Nell Eckersley, and I work in New York City, and we have a huge influx of folks coming into our adult ed programs. The need for digital equity, digital skills has never been greater. And one of the things we struggled with in New York City was finding our partners. So we wanted to find the other digital coalitions that were out there. We wanted to make sure that we were at the table, because often, again, as it's mentioned, we're left out. Adult ed is left out when funding comes down for digital equity work, because we're not part of the .edu group, we're not part of the college situation, we're adults, and we're working probably in community-based organizations. In New York City, we are made up of community-based organizations, libraries, community colleges, and the Department of Education. Very different formats of education, different ways that people are getting involved, and often the funders don't know how to handle that. So we wanted to make sure we were at that table. When the Digital Equity Fund plan for New York City or New York State was being put together, we made sure that we were part of that. And then for us in New York City, it's a small, geographically we're small, but we're really compact, and we have a lot of people, and we have coalitions that have been developing in our different boroughs, and we wanted to make sure that we were all kind of, meeting with each other, not just these little separate enclaves. So our work right now has been to find each other and to create a sort of unified coalition for New York City. And what my call to action for all of you today is to find your local coalitions. They need to know you exist as adult ed. I think adult ed particularly brings the digital literacy piece in, where there might be other programs that are doing things with devices and access to broadband. People working in the health industry, in financial industry, all need people to be able to use their digital devices. So there's a place for us there, I think, to be at the table. And so the first step, get involved with your local coalitions. On the COABE website, you'll be able to find a list there that Michael has been putting together. And you'll hear from the speakers beside me some other ways to get connected, because there's so many partners out there waiting for us. We just have to go find them. That's our work. Thank you.
And that leads me to a wonderful partner. Many of you are familiar with the great work that T-Mobile is doing in this space, but we wanted to welcome Ann Clancy to talk a bit more about that.
Thank you. And being at a venue like this, and these wonderful people remind me of why we do what we do. So just a little bit of background about me. 3 years ago, I came to T-Mobile for education from City Colleges of Chicago, where I oversaw not only our credit programs, but also our large adult education program. So when I came to T-Mobile as an education advisor and strategist, I wanted to make sure that part of our education strategy was reaching out to the adult education community in our digital equity efforts. And so what T-Mobile does is, if you haven't heard, we had started in the digital equity space with Project 10 Million, where we're connecting our K through 12 students and their families with free internet if they qualify for free and reduced lunch. And we also knew as a company that we couldn't stop there. And so we expanded the strategy into working with education programs and higher education. And working with COABE is one of those strategies to get the word out that we're more than a cell phone company. We really are a resource to help connect learners to their world, to connect them with the resources and the technology that they need. And this is something, again, that is really personally, and my personal North Star is access and equity for education. I believe that everybody needs to be able to get to where they need it, and you can't do it nowadays if you're not connected and if you don't have the technology resources to do that. And so what I do is I work across the country, and we actually have a whole team of educators across the country that are former educators or are still educators that help to think and work with you to partner, to think about how we can provide those technology resources and connectivity to your students, your programs, and even your faculty and staff. And so one of the things that I think is really important to remember and think about is that it's not just our students, but also many of our teachers and faculty might need the resources for connectivity, digital literacy efforts as well. And so we want to be a partner. And so my takeaway is that don't be shy to reach out to us. We want to think with you. We want to work with you and figure out how we can connect your learners, your programs, with connectivity, with the technology resources for you all to be successful. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you. And last but not least, I asked Shauna Edson, and it was last minute, to the stage because they're here from NDIA. She's a senior policy analyst there. And we wanted you to hear from her because they're doing great work in the coalition space. So, Shauna, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's so exciting to see digital equity thrive in adult education. It's so important. At NDIA, we believe with digital equity, everybody wins. We aim to create a world where everybody has access to technology to live, learn, work, and thrive. We do that by community building through practitioner support, research, policy advocacy, as well as coalition building. Partnering in community is so important for digital equity. As you all know, none of us can do this work on our own. We need to work together in our local communities as well as our national communities. So one of the biggest things that NDIA is known for is our community. People doing digital equity work are often one of the only folks in your organization doing the work, and it can feel lonely and siloed. So NDIA, it's very exciting if you join our listserv, come to our monthly calls, our annual conference. People feel like you're connecting with family, much like I'm sure you feel coming to this conference as well. We connect folks to program, to work together. We have resources for coalition building. If you can't find a coalition on your own in your town, maybe that means you need to be the one to start one, because in all your spare time, I'm sure. We also have resources for trailblazers. It's where you can find information on what cities are doing. We have state scorecards, so you can find out information on what's going on in your state. I highly recommend that you just start talking to people in your community, find out who's doing the work, contact your state broadband office. Some cities have folks working in the city all over. So I welcome you to join the NDIA community.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's a lot of free resources, and we also want to make sure you're aware that there's literally more than $2 billion of funding. So this is one of the reasons why we felt this is important here on our 25th anniversary to make a point to talk about digital equity, digital funding, and hope, the hope that we have. So we're going to ask one final question here before we go to the next segment of our program here. We are a little bit short on time, but if you wanted to say one sentence for how the hope that you want to leave with our attendees, I'd love to hear that.
Put us out of business.
Look for those partners, make sure you know who's doing the work, and connect with them. They want to work with you, but it's our responsibility to help break down those silos.
And I just want to, I'm going to steal from you. I think that, you know, the fact that digital skills are really, or access to digital everything is a civil right, and we need to just make that, it's just a demand now. It has to be.
You might find partners in unlooked places, so don't forget about companies like T-Mobile and others that want to do this work with you.
Be curious and tenacious.
I think what I love the most is it is an organization that is built on a lot of faith and passion for adult education and to help those throughout our country, to help adults to seek a better life.
COABE also grew and evolved to become an organization that not only offers professional development, but also leadership opportunities, instructors, our supervisors, and our students. And then advocacy. Students get to be involved in that part too. The field really needs a voice, and we're lucky to have COABE hoping to get the message out there about the importance of adult education. The journal, the newsletter, the webinars, just the website itself. There is a wealth of information out there. I love conferences
That's what I love most about COABE, the networking, the learning, the growing, the ability to present and share expertise, volunteer, see new places.
What is there not to love about COABE? They have done an amazing job providing professional development opportunities for practitioners year-round, not just at the conference. I do love the conference. I've only missed one in the last 21 years. It's a great opportunity to network, bring
a lot of history in the last 25 years. So we just have a little bit more to go, and this is the exciting part, the part where we recognize excellence in the field and give out awards. And we're able to do so here at COABE because we have such great partnership and generosity from our friends at Dollar General. And one thing I just want to say, when I was a little girl, I learned everything I know about budgeting from Dollar General. It is where my family took us to be able to buy supplies for our house and budget our money. And I am so geeked out just to be here with them and to go visit their office and see their museum, because I really did learn finance at an early age from Dollar General. So here from Dollar General to help share in the awards is Lindsay and Kat, please.
Good morning. Thank you so much. My name is Lindsay Bassler. I'm with the Dollar General Literacy Foundation, and we're just thrilled to be here with you. We know how hard you guys work, how hard it is to step away for a couple of days, so we're just thrilled to be here with you. We appreciate the work that you guys do each and every day. The Dollar General Literacy Foundation was established over 30 years ago in honor of our co-founder, J.L. Turner, who had to drop out of school when he was in 3rd grade. He was the eldest son in the family and had to stop going to school so he could take care of the farm when his father passed away unexpectedly. So the Turner family has always believed in the value and in the importance of education, and that all starts with the ability to read. So we've been investing in literacy programs over that course of over 30 years, $238 million invested in education and literacy programs, serving nearly 20 million individuals. So we value the work that you guys do. We are here to serve alongside you. We'll be here for the next couple of days, so please say hi. And without further ado, I think this is my favorite part of the sessions is hearing from our winners for the awards. So.
Oh, no, that's good. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, this is usually everyone's favorite part of the awards, of the session, is to give out some awards. So I'm thrilled to have served as the awards chair. And now we'll kick it off with our Adult Learner of the Year. And you'll get to watch a quick video as Samuel Gabaldon introduces himself.
Being COABE's Adult Learner of the Year is an honor I do not take lightly. Many people helped me get here. Thank you, William Dubois, not only for nominating me for this award, but teaching me the joys of applied STEM through aviation. More importantly, you shared your wisdom with me wherever I sought it. Thank you to the whole Luna team, who I think of as family. Thank you to my friends and co-ambassadors for supporting me on my journey. Thank you to my family for enabling me to seek education. Last but not least, thank you to all adult educators. The work you do is heroic. All of you are giving people the path to better their lives. Maybe more importantly, you're giving students like me faith in our own ability to better our own communities and selves. Before I found my adult education program, I was a childhood cancer survivor, an ordeal that robbed me of 9 years of my life. My peers grew and graduated without me. I was robbed of my faith in my own body and ability. Entering into my program in late 2022 was a man with no confidence. I shared my new knowledge with my peers and regained my confidence, tutoring for math at my program, and starting an open STEM lab with the goals of sharing the same joys I experienced. Adult education changed my life. You can argue it gave it back to me. I say with pride, I am a product of adult education. Now, I am in my first semester of college at the University of New Mexico, on the path to becoming a civil engineer. One last time, thank you.
Let's give it up for Samuel. That definitely woke everybody up, right? So we'll move on to our next award, the Teacher of the Year. And we have Adriana Galvan.
It is an honor to receive this Teacher of the Year award. Today, I would like to recognize every single one of my students, a journey that I began in 1986. Thank you to my colleagues who nominated me and the National Coalition of Adult Basic Education for awarding me this great honor. I want to also recognize the St. Paul Public Library for developing and implementing initiatives and projects that promote and sustain education at all levels. To my dear friends and family, in my culture, friends are family, and family is where the heart and the acceptance is. To all of you for your love and support, my deepest gratitude. I will especially like to recognize my mom, who unexpectedly passed away 7 months ago. Her example and legacy of service to others, respect, and caring continues to inspire me every day. I want to recognize the importance of the adult basic education. In the ABE classroom is where dreams transition into reality, where people thrive to improve their lives, their families, and their communities. A strong multicultural, multi-diverse environment in which community is built. In the ABE, our students come because they want to be there. It is a personal decision. Every participant brings their trust, their time, which are both unmeasurable values. Many times our students bring the courage that it takes to begin a new journey, far away from their loved ones and sometimes in a new country. How could I miss the great privilege to be a small part of my students' life commitment to better themselves each session? Collectively, we each have something to teach and learn from one another. Education is one thing that nobody can take away from us, and it is what allows us to start over every time with confidence. Thank you to everyone that makes ABE possible, and let us not forget that in this day and age, education is a privilege. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thanks. Let's celebrate Adriana. Come on out. Okay, we'll move on to our Administrator of the Year, Laura Kierstead Joseph.
I am humbled and honored to be recognized by COABE as the Adult Education Administrator of the Year. I feel very fortunate to have found this amazing, fulfilling field of adult education where I get to be of service and help adults reach their educational and career goals. Over the past 25 years, I've had the benefit of learning from and being supported by talented and inspiring leaders in adult education at Pima Community College and beyond. And I've had the privilege and the benefit of working alongside exceptional educators and staff at Pima Community College who are dedicated to the adult learners that we serve. Some of the most important work that I have done is related to advocacy, and while I never set out to be an advocate, I am passionate about standing up and speaking up for the learners that we serve. It is a reality of this work that we are in a position of continually raising awareness about adult education and the work that we do. Adult ed leaders need to raise awareness with their own organizational leadership, with state leaders, and with elected officials. I know that when we make sure that the people in power understand the important work that we do, the awareness building and advocacy is a natural extension. Adult education is essential. It plays an essential role in workforce development, and more importantly, it plays an essential role in helping our adult learners build the skills that they need to access family-sustaining career pathways. I want to thank COABE for this award and for the work that they do to advance the field of adult education. And I want to thank the Pima Community College team for all that they do. You all are amazing, and without you, I would not be receiving this recognition.
Laurie, please come on down. All right, and our final award this morning is for the Advocate of the Year, Cheryl Heister.
It is such an honor to receive this award from COABE. Back in 2008, Pennsylvania experienced a 50% cut in state funding for adult and family literacy education. And for 12 years, that funding stayed flat. Flat funding, coupled with consistent demand for services and increased regulatory expectations, put significant stress on our programs. Statewide, our capacity was diminished. And PACE realized that if we are not at the table, we will soon be on the menu. So it was time for us to get serious about our advocacy work. We hired a lobbyist to help us set an advocacy strategy and engage PACE members. We have been working with Joe Merzen of OnePlus Strategies for 3 years now, and the results are undeniable. Our focus in the first year was to build our advocacy muscles and messaging. We focused on building relationships in the General Assembly and to raise PACE's profile. We introduced PACE to key legislators and administration officials, and we introduced our PACE members to their legislators. In year one, our focus was on holding the line item with hopes of seeing funding increase over time. That year, we considered level funding a win. In year two, we received a rather big blow. A small increase in the line item was proposed by the governor and later negotiated out of the budget. Another year of level funding for us. And that was a tough pill for us to swallow. A few of us even flirted with throwing in the towel, but we didn't. A new governor and a new focus in 2023. We started early and met with anyone who would listen to us. Our perseverance paid off with a 30% increase to the line item for this year and an additional $1 million proposed increase for fiscal year 24-25. Those two increases gave us the wind in our sails that we needed to keep at it, and we will continue to advocate for full restoration of the funding. I've learned a few really important things about effective advocacy over the last few years. Our students and our work deserve our very best advocacy efforts. I learned that make your friends before you need them is a really important strategy because this work is really all about building relationships. I learned that clear and consistent messaging matters, and a combination of data and stories helps make the strongest case for support. I learned it's really important to get personal. When legislators interact with our students and us, they get it. And most importantly, keep your foot on the gas and don't let up. So on behalf of all of my PACE compadres, we thank COABE sincerely for recognizing our work and for this honor.
Cheryl, thank you for your work. Come on out. So how about one more round of applause for all of our winners, their families, friends, teachers, and the programs that they come from for that unwavering support. So we're going to continue the celebration by having our special guest, Mr. Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., come and take us away to the exhibit hall.
Amen. Everybody having a good time? All right, I'm going to be the Pied Piper ushering you guys to the exhibit room. But first, I'm going to take you on a trip. You ready to go on a trip? Crank it up, DJ. Come fly with me, come, let's fly away. If there's exotic booze that you can use, there's a bar in Far Bombay. Come on, fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. Down in Llama Land, there's a one-man man and he'll toot his flute for you. Come on, baby, let's go and float down to the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear angels cheer because we're together. Otherwise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words and we'll meet the birds down in Acapulco Bay. It's a perfect day for a flying honeymoon. They say, come fly with me, let's fly away. Woo! Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, you'll just glide, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so very near. And you may hear angels cheer because we're together. Otherwise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words and we'll meet the birds down in Acapulco Bay. It's a perfect day for a flying honeymoon. They say, come fly with me. Come fly with me. Come fly with me. Pack up, let's fly away. Shh. Don't tell your mama. You better not tell your mama. Let's have a good time, everybody.